Before we get any further, this video contains spoilers for The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 6. If you haven't seen it yet, we highly recommend you head on over to Disney Plus and watch it before continuing with the video. If you're all caught up or just don't care, let's dive right in.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
This week, we're returning with another episode that had us at the edge of our seats for more than one reason. If we weren't excited to see the Bad Batch's interpretation of Kashyyyk, we were really happy to see the return of Gungi, the little Wookiee Padawan from the Clone Wars. As heartwarming as it was to see that he survived Order 66, this episode gives plenty to feel upset about. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the horrific fate of the Wookiees of Kashyyyk at the hands of their historic enemies, and why it might have just tied Season 2 of The Bad Batch together. For a very long time, bad blood flowed freely between the Trandoshans and Wookiees. Trandosha, the homeworld of our least favorite lizard people, and Kashyyyk, the lush homeworld of the Wookiees, were located in the same star system, which ended up being rather unfortunate for the Wookiees. For millennia, the Trandoshans worshipped their goddess, the Scorekeeper. In the eyes of their goddess, each Trandoshan held specific worth measured in Juggernaut points, which were essentially a system that supported the Trandoshans' culture and way of life. To earn Juggernaut points, Trandoshans had to be incredibly aggressive and take down powerful opponents, as each successful kill earned them points. They could lose them all by being humiliated during the hunt, but they could then re-earn their points by killing the one who had defeated them. Their hunt for points was why so many Trandoshans became bounty hunters or slavers. The more formidable the enemy, the more points they earned in the eyes of their goddess. For this reason, they hunted for sport, targeting especially powerful enemies such as Jedi or Wookiees. We mentioned that the more powerful the foe, the more points the Trandoshan who took them down earned. This is where the Wookiees really came in. Standing at over 2 meters tall, Wookiees had incredible physical strength, enough to rip your arm clean off your body. They were skilled with weaponry, even creating their own unique energy crossbows. If those weren't enough, they also sported huge fangs and claws they could use to rip you to shreds if ripping you apart wasn't good enough, even if they couldn't use their claws due to their honor code. Altogether, Wookiees were terrifying for anyone to face, which made them a very, very juicy prize for the score-obsessed lizards. They were particularly fond of killing and skinning Wookiees to save their fluffy pelts. The rarer the breed, the more points they would earn. For decades prior to the Clone Wars, the two species had been at each other's throats. Trandoshans committed multiple atrocities against the Wookiees, from hunting them to trying to assassinate their political representatives to siding with the Trade Federation to get senatorial representation for themselves. The worst, however, came once the Galactic Empire was established. In 19 BBY, the Empire bombed Kashyyyk and subjugated the planet to its rule. Seeing an opportunity for profit, Trandoshan suggested to the Empire that they collect Wookiees as slaves. Their immense physical strength would make them excellent manual laborers, and once they'd broken their spirit, they would submit well. Never one to pass up free labor, the Empire agreed, and thus, with their blessing, Trandoshans organized slavery runs on Kashyyyk, capturing Wookiees and runaway slaves. One example of these Trandoshan crews were the 5 lizard crew working for the Zonti brothers, and another were the Trandoshans we saw in this week's episode. If you're furious at the horrific crimes Trandoshans committed against the Wookiees, you're not alone. We're just as furious. But with that fury comes the relief of seeing the Bad Batch's response to this cruelty, which was not only swift, but also violent. In an earlier video, we made a point of criticizing the Bad Batch for continuing to cling to their dreams of living a peaceful life by relying on the stun setting of their blasters. During that video, we mentioned how, in this new Imperial era, it was foolish to cling to such false ideals of peace. On the one hand, we could understand why they were hesitant to kill their own clone brothers, but on the other, for every dead Imperial, a rainbow appears. Jokes aside, it was something that really represented their opinions toward this new war. They didn't want to be a part of it, and so they did their best to avoid attracting Imperial attention. In episode 1, Hunter was reluctant to attack Sereno, and while planetside, they shot to stun every clone they had to fight. It was because, at the time, part of them simply didn't want to kill the enemy clones. They didn't want more part in this new war than they absolutely had to have. The Trandoshans, however, got no such mercy, and we're absolutely stoked to see it. Of course, there's no comparison between clones doing their job and Trandoshans being straight up evil, and we're very glad to see the Bad Batch recognizing this. It's one thing to be unwilling to shoot to kill when you're facing down your former comrade who's just patrolling a ruined city or moving boxes, and it's a whole other thing when you're face to face with a scaly sack of Sith that woke up that morning and chose violence. In this episode, the Bad Batch came face to face with true evil, and they didn't hesitate in shooting to kill. Based as that was, it also signals the beginning of a new arc for this season, which we're incredibly excited for. Last week, we talked about how we believed the second season was setting us up for a slow climax. The first few gentle episodes were designed to show us the peaceful life Clone Force 99 were trying to lead, away from the Empire and its villainy. In that video, we concluded that we were being set up to see Hunter and his lads come to the inevitable conclusion that this wasn't a fight they could in good conscience walk away from, and this week's episode seems to be the first one of this transitional arc. Up until now, the clones had been seeing this fight as something impersonal. There was the evil Galactic Empire doing evil things to distant worlds. Clones and newly recruited stormtroopers looted separatist worlds, oppressing some along the way, but it felt like something they could ignore. When your enemy is a faceless state, it's hard to feel enough rage to really take up the fight. The Galactic Empire sucked, yes, but it was the kind of suck that felt like it was happening elsewhere, and if they closed their eyes and hummed nice songs, they could ignore it and live a happy life. This episode changed that. When they came face to face with Gungi, a Wookiee Padawan on the run after Order 66, they could immediately feel a connection with his pain, because clones like them had caused it. They could recognize that their brothers had inflicted this hurt on the Jedi, so they chose to make what reparations they could and take him back to his people. What greeted them on Kashyyyk, however, wasn't what they were expecting. Seeing that Wookiee village burnt to a cinder was jarring enough, but then witnessing the Trandoshans cutting other Wookiees down and burning the lush jungle set something off in the clones that nothing up until this point in the season had. They got angry. After they took down that raiding party, they promised their help to the Wookiees and, together, unleashed cold, calculated vengeance on the Trandoshans hunting their people for sport. Watching the Trandoshans fall and getting eaten alive by Kinrath was satisfying, but realizing that the Bad Batch had been emotionally invested was even more so. Until now, Clone Force 99 had reacted to outer events. They'd help if they'd been nearby, but it hadn't meant that much to them. In this episode, however, they felt rage on behalf of the Wookiees. They took it personally, and that's where the real change lies. From a war against the faceless Empire, it turned into a war on behalf of species like the Wookiees who were being brutalized all across the galaxy. When confronted with true evil, good people don't look away. Good people take a stand for what they believe in, and the Bad Batch are nearing the crossroads of realization that, for every time they choose not to get involved, innocents are suffering, and that's just not something they can ignore. Good soldiers follow orders. Good people follow their hearts, and we think this episode is firm proof that the Bad Batch will soon be mad and out for Imperial blood. Are you as excited as we are for next week's episode? What do you think will finally push them firmly over the edge into anti-Imperial warfare? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and what you thought of this week's episode. We loved it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.